Impeachment. Do you know what that means? They got the White House. They got the Oval Office. No job. He don't work hard. Get his ass off. Get his ass off. If he ain't got it, sit down. Bitch, sit his ass down. If he ain't got it, Nancy told your ass to sit down. Sit your ass down. See, sis, what are y'all doing? Sis, I woke up and impeachment party was trending. So I say, you know what? Why don't we have a little impeachment party on the live stream? What are you doing? Wake y'all asses up. I say, you know what? We're getting that tired toupee. Like I said, the termite infested toupee. We're getting his tumbleweed toupee. We're getting his, I love double toilet trouble. That's my favorite. We're getting this haystack, needle in a haystack. Bill Dash toupee out of here. We're getting an IMPEACHMENT. Do you know what that means? That's it. All right. There is so much to talk about when it comes specifically to all these headlines, and my shirt is giving very much so Normani type of teas, and we love to see it. But like, I was like, how do I keep up with? That's what I was doing while y'all was chatting on this live stream before I entered it. I was like, how do I keep up with all these headlines that have been coming out? So, you know, I want to talk about the politics first. Thanks, Weezy Peas, how you say, on impeachment. Okay, yeah, so I want to talk about the politics first, and then I'll get on the rest of this. I want to talk about also Amber Geiger and all that. So this is going to be a very long kind of, I don't want to promise long, but I don't know how to shut the fuck up. So I'm sure that it will be pretty long. So I want to first talk about the politics. Let me tell you something. Rudy Giuliani is getting his ass tagged and bagged. I'm talking about body bag type of teas. Do you hear? And I put this in my description. I was just like, sis is really going on these press conferences, these news networks, and it looks guilty as hell. Just like, the president didn't do anything. Meanwhile, what's happening behind the scenes is the House of Representatives subpoenaed his ass, and they used some of the shit that he was saying on CNN, like on these news networks, to back up support for their subpoena. Let me tell you something. Rudy Giuliani got subpoenaed by three committees in the House of Representatives: the Intelligence Committee, the Foreign Affairs Committee, and the Oversight Committee. They dragged the shit out of his ass. Let me tell you something. Let me read some of it. Pursuant to the House of Representatives impeachment inquiry, we are hereby transmitting a subpoena that compels your ass. They didn't say your ass, but I put that in there. Compels your ass to produce the document set forth in the accompanying schedule by October 15, 2019. So he has till the middle of next month to produce all these documents. I don't know what they're going to do. The committees are investigating the extent to which President Trump jeopardized national security by pressing Ukraine to interfere with our 2020 election and by withholding security assistance provided by Congress to help Ukraine counter Russian aggression, as well as any efforts to cover up these matters. So I'm just like, so Congress approved all this aid to go to Ukraine. I mean, all these agencies approved it, and Trump was over the summer just withheld it. I'm reading. Giuliani admitted on national TV, CNN, that while serving as a president's personal attorney, he asked the government of Ukraine to target former Vice President Joe Biden. Okay, and this is what the actual House is saying. In addition to this stark admission, you stated more recently that you are in possession of evidence in the form of text messages, phone records, and other communications. I remember him actually holding up his phone to the camera and doing that on live TV. Other communications indicating that you are not acting alone and that other Trump administration officials may have been involved in this scheme. So Giuliani, while he's over there spouting a bunch of nonsense, I think, was he talking to Stephanopoulos? Oh, that name. He was talking to George Stephanopoulos, and George was just like, some of the things that you're saying just factually not true. At this point, they know that they've been caught, and so what they're trying to do now is just spin this narrative while using like Miss Kellyanne Conway has said, Miss Wicked Witch of the White House, that's what I call her. Wicked Witch of the White House has said, she said alternative facts. So what they're trying to do now is use these alternative facts to spin the narrative, even though, like for example, because Trump has been having a lot of things going on. So what I mean by alternative facts is this. Trump recently put this tweet up to kind of distract the American people from what's going on. He said, great news. And he's been doing this with a lot of other industries, but this is just one example that he tweeted out today. Ooh, child, I have my shit together today, honey. Great news, is what he said. Great news. Apple announced that it is building its new Mac Pro in Texas. This means hundreds of American jobs in Austin and for suppliers across the country. Congratulations to the Apple team and their workers. Sorry if I'm not looking at the comments this much, but I want to get this information out before I continue reading. But yeah, so he says things like that. And when you do the research behind it, you'll see that Apple had always been making their MacBook Pros in Texas. So he's doing. And what actually happened was Tim asked was just like, if these dumbass tariffs are going to affect us, because if they do, we'll have to sell these MacBooks at 25% more than what they're going for. If these tariffs that you're implementing are going to keep affecting our bottom line, we're taking our ass to China. That's it. And so what actually happened was that apparently Trump gave them an exception. Trump gave Apple an exception to these damn tariffs, and so they were allowed to continue business in Texas. And Trump is now putting this up as if they're now going to be suddenly doing business in Texas, as if they hadn't already been doing so. So that's what I mean by alternative facts. He's putting up these things. He's putting up this narrative to try and spin it, to try and act like he did this good, as if that would distract us from everything that's going on. Let me read a breakdown of what The Guardian has said, and this is just in the past 3 hours. Okay, this is desperate. That's exactly what he is, a cloud token, desperate. Period. Aaliyah said, Adrian giving bullet point teas. Exactly. We got to break this shit down, honey. This is coming from The Guardian, and this is just within the past 3 hours. So Trump, I don't even know if I should talk about. I'm gonna talk about it individually as much as I can. So 3 hours ago, asked about the whistleblower's identity, Trump says he's trying to find out about the person. And of course, the whistleblower's lawyer came out and defended the whistleblower's anonymity. Now, the reason why that's the reason why that's really crazy, the fact that Trump was saying, oh, we're trying to find out who the whistleblower is because, number one, that's why the lawyer said, like, the whistleblower is protected by federal law. So you can try that shit if you want to, but, and then they had this chilling effect. That's what they're saying. If the president keeps talking about whistleblowers like this, it's a chilling effect. And what that means is that it will discourage future whistleblowers from even coming out in the first place. If you have the White House, the executive branch, talking about we're trying to find out who the whistleblower is. So that's the first thing. Americans are apparently evenly split on impeaching Trump. There's some polls indicated that I don't know the specific polls, but that's what The Guardian is reporting. I already told you about Giuliani being subpoenaed by 3 House committees. And he just goes, and oh my God, I didn't even talk about, what's his name? Kevin McCarthy. He's the House Minority Leader. He went up on the CNN. He went up on the 60 Minutes and he was being interviewed by Scott Pelley. That's how you pronounce his name. And he was just like, Scott Pelley was the host was just like, the president said, I would like you to, this is what the president was saying to Ukraine. I would like you to do us a favor though. And then McCarthy was like, oh, you just added another word. And the host was like, no, I didn't. That's an actual transcript released from the White House. Like, what are you talking about? And McCarthy was the Senate, not the Senate, the House Minority Leader was just like, he actually said, do us a favor though. It's like, how do you not know what the transcript says? And you're going on 60 Minutes to be interviewed about it, to spin lies about it. And Pelley was even just like, I can hear the talking points coming from the White House coming out of your mouth. Like, what are you talking about? Like, and he kept asking him over and over, what is the White House's defense going to be after this, as we go on? And the minority leader was just like, no, there's nothing to defend. And everyone's just like, girl, what are you talking about? Just if you say the sky is green 100 times, don't mean that bitch gonna suddenly turn into looking like a goddamn tree since we see that shit is blue. What are you talking about? Whew, what are you talking about? Okay, so yeah, so you can see Trump's Oh, Brenda, if president gets impeached, do all their policies get revoked? Not well versed in this stuff. I'm not super well versed in that either, but if things have been signed into law, just because he is impeached does not mean that, it automatically gets revoked, because, even things like Supreme Court picks and stuff, they don't come out. The judges being put in these courts, they don't come out. Even if we get a Democratic president, Mitch McConnell ass will be a pain in our ass. So yeah, that's why it's so imperative that we continue to get his ass out of here, because the more that he sits in there, the more that he will, I don't want to say permanently, because I don't want to sensationalize it, but he will really affect this country for a long ass time. That's why we want his ass out of here. So yeah, you can see just by how the president's circle is behaving in media, going on 60 Minutes, trying to take hold of the narrative again. You can see that they're scrambling, they're getting desperate. It's ridiculous. Pompeo, I forget. He reportedly, so there are a lot of people who are in the highest levels of government who had known about this Ukraine call. And now we're finding that shit out. That's just on period. The most recent news that just came out, okay? Listen to what I'm about to tell you. I think the New York Times first reported this, and then it was the Guardian. Listen to this. Trump apparently pushed the Australian Prime Minister to work with Barr, Mr. William Barr, in a Russia investigation. If Mike Pence in Russian investigation, so trying to discredit Mueller's probe and investigation into what happened in all this Russia shit. So that's what the New York Times is reporting. Let me see if I can get a specific. I think there is. Hold on, y'all. Let me see, because there's a specific quote from the New York Times that I want to read. Okay, here we go. This is a little bit. Just bear with me. The White House restricted access to the calls transcript to a small group of the president's aides. One of the officials said, an unusual decision that is similar to the handling of a July call with the Ukrainian president that is at the heart of the House Democrats' impeachment. So they're saying the same way that the president handled the Ukraine call, that's the same way he handled apparently this call to Australia. And so, like that call, the discussion with Prime Minister Scott Morrison of Australia shows the extent to which Mr. Trump sees the Attorney General Bill Barr, like William Barr, Attorney General, as a critical partner to his goal to show that the Mueller investigation had corrupt and partisan origins, and the extent that Mr. Trump sees the Justice Department inquiry as a potential way to gain leverage over America's closest allies. So now, what that makes me wonder is if New York Times, if the media is reporting that he's doing the very same, almost the same type of shit that he did with Ukraine, with Australia, how many more calls? How many more calls? How many more countries? How many more officials did he? And it's just illegal, girl. It's just, you can't solicit the hell. It's just of other countries putting the national security at risk. And the reason why I'm even talking in these terms is because a lot of times these conservatives love to use that as their main talking point. It's national security. We got to make sure America first. It's just, if you intertwine and shit like that and you try to enrich yourself off of these connections with other countries as a high-ranking government official, girl, that's just a conflict of ethics. And it's just like, get your ass out of that. So I wonder how many more calls are there out there? And that's why all these people sitting on these committees like Mr. Cummings, Elijah Cummings, they say, girl, okay, that's cool. Keep talking that shit, Giuliani. All you hosts keep talking that shit. We're just going to send subpoenas to y'all asses. We're just going to send subpoenas to y'all asses. What the hell is impeachment supposed to be deflected? Huh? Did you read the transcript? It was benign. He wasn't extorting Ukraine. Oh, girl, we don't. And it's just like we have to continue to remind ourselves that transcript isn't really a transcript. It's actually called a memo, and it's been created and released by the goddamn White House. But like, so that was obviously the best, quote unquote, of what they like, what they wanted us to see. And all we have to do is keep digging. We want the actual call. Girl, get the actual call. If he's convicted by the Senate, he will have jail or worse. If not, he can run again. Yeah, I know. Like, that's the main issue will be the Senate, because. But you see how they're polling. You see how they're polling Americans now just to see where they are at when it comes to impeachment. If a lot of the public start to be like, oh, well, I want this motherfucker out of office, I don't know. I just don't know what the Senate, like, y'all gonna have to get in line. You know what I mean? But the Senate is going to be the biggest, or one of the biggest, in my opinion, obstacles to getting this man out of office, because we need, I think, a 2/3 majority. We need a 2/3 majority vote to get his ass out of there if it passes out of the House of Representatives, which I think it will, because they need like 218 members. I don't know if it was 216 or 218. I think it was 218 members to basically approve of this whole impeachment process for it to pass in the House of Representatives. And last time I checked, it was like in the 220s and stuff. So I just, it was so much on here that I was just like, I have no other choice but to do a fucking live stream about it. And the way that they are trying to, like, what they're trying to do now, it makes me want to watch House of Cards again. But what they're trying to do now is just release, okay, yeah, we did this, but it's not that bad. Or here's certain parts of the call, we're not going to release the whole thing. Or and the Democrats are just like, we ain't playing with y'all asses. We see right through this trying to rebrand or take control of the narratives. We're just going to start subpoenaing you bitches, and that's it. Where's Kamala Harris when you need her? She needs to lock his Trump's presidency happened because targeted ads and events were orchestrated by Russian hackers and manipulated. Yeah. Even now you can see the bots like online and stuff, the Russian bots. You can see the spread of misinformation has a lot to do with why we ended up with his ass in the first place in the White House. So wow, like today, I'm really giving y'all fake ass Don Lemon type of teas, and like I always say, I'm kind of here for it. I'm I'm kind of here for it today. I don't want to talk about Mr. Cheeto dust ass, toupee ass Trump for too long. Let's switch gears here and speak really quickly about Stacey Dash. I'm not spending too much time on that girl. Because she didn't spend too much time on her IQ points, and I just wish that she did. Stacey Dash has apparently been arrested for domestic violence with her, I don't know if it's husband or boyfriend or whatever it was. Somebody got slapped at 7:45 p.m. And it's just, that's really all I have to say about it. Domestic violence really sucks, but so does Stacey Dash's rhetoric. It sucks so badly. There was I don't know if you guys saw it, there was a police video released about like while she was being arrested I don't know, she was walking to the car or something, and the officer was asking her like, so who are you, basically, like, are you she was like, I'm an actress, I was in Clueless, I was a Fox News contributor. It's just like, oh girl, do better. That's all I have to say to Stacey Dash. Just do better. I've been trying to tell her to do better. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. She got arrested. Girl, look that shit up. I've been trying to tell her ass to do better, and she's just not listening. I want her to do better. Like, I don't want your life to look like this, sus. Even though you want all our black asses to go away, like ashes to ashes, dust to dust. But I just, even though, I don't know, I hope Trump can save your ass from whatever type of process, judicial process you have to go through, since you were over here begging for his ass to be elected. I hope that he can come through and save you, like the demented, distorted, fake ass superhero that Trump thinks that he is, Superman that he thinks that he is. Moving right along, I don't want to spend too much time on, I was going to say the good sis, but the bad sis, Cory Booker. I'm trying to be nice about this because no one wants to be discouraged while they're the wicked sis. I'm trying to be nice to Cory Booker. I really am, because like I said, I have to remember these people are human beings and they don't want to be, you don't want to have a whole lot of discouragement coming from the public, but sis. Okay. So y'all already know, I think it's a DNC. One of them hoes, they have a specific requirements for you to be able to move on. His old hip hop head to move on in your campaign, so you can take the debate stages and shit like that. He said, I think a week ago, he said, let me make sure. I think it was a week ago. He said he needed $1.7 million, about $1.7 million. Now, I think it's cool, impressive that you're able to raise that much money. He said he needed $1.7 million to keep this shit going, and he achieved the goal. That's impressive. That's impressive. But that shit was, I think it was a week. By September 30th, he needed it, or he'd have to drop out the race. So I think that's impressive. I won't even be too shady with that. I think that's impressive. But I'm just like, at this point, you could give me a few stacks so I could pay off my student loans. Like that $1.7 million sauce, the way that these polls were looking, Cory, you could, girls, you might need to take that shit by a yacht. And Cory, Cory, what are you doing? But like I said, you don't need that 1%. I want to pay my shit off. Oh my goodness. He just needed a 1.7 to run his campaign. He raised it. That's impressive. Like I said, that is impressive. But I'm just like, sis, you might want to just go ahead and endorse somebody. Right? I don't know. You are also, you are going to Hades. I'm like doing 10 things in my mind at the same time. Oh my God, the Birds of Prey trailer is dropping tomorrow in the morning, I think, with Harley Quinn and them. What else is coming? Stranger Things is coming. Y'all gonna beat my ass for me when I say this, but I haven't watched Stranger Things. I haven't watched it. I don't know. It's just something about kids being in a TV show that I'm just like, I'm not interested. I don't really care. But I haven't watched it. I know y'all gonna drag me, but I need to. I know Rosario Dawson. Oh, personally. Oh, that's cool. Oh, let me talk about How to Get Away with Murder real quick. Let me talk. Don't get dragged. Okay, let me talk about How to Get Away with Murder real quick. Did y'all see that shit? Did y'all see that shit on Thursday? Did you see How to Get? Did you see Viola Davis with that fucking shake and go wig? Did you see it? No, she didn't have it. Was it her wig? No, she had the wig on at the end of the episode. Miss Ma'am said, "I'm not a dumbass. I'm not a dumbass. I'm good. I'm nice. I deserve to be." I'm making fun of it, but it was a really powerful episode. It was really good, and I know I probably already talked about it, but the way that I did already talk about it, I literally in the last video, but the way that Viola is. She's just such an incredible actress. Like, oh my God. I always mess up the quote that she says, but she said, acting is the art of like being private in public, basically. And just the fact that these writers have unleashed just just tears coming down her eyes, snot running down her nose. Annalise is going through it, getting bulldozed by society and ran over by her friends. And then Viola Davis got to be, stripped down bare, and just she has to make herself look just tired and emotionally ugly in front of the camera. That takes so much like courage, and to do that with people in the room too, like the cast and crew and the cameraman and all these. It's just like, oh my goodness, it was so great. Sis, you spin my head right round, right round. That's what happened to Laurel. She spun around like a tornado girl and she disappeared. Viola talking about Laurel. Michaela like, girl, I don't know. And then what happened, what I thought was interesting was Annalise took that group exercise of beating that pillow back to her students and say, hey, we're going to get this out. Now, what's going on? Spoiler alert for those of you who have not watched the episode. 3, 2, 1. I'm giving you a spoiler alert. Y'all think Annalise really dead? Y'all think Annalise really? I don't think sis is dead. I don't think sis is dead. I think that maybe mark my words. I think that maybe something happened where she was about to get caught or something, or FBI was closing in. Yeah, someone said, fuck no. Hell no. Hell no. I think that maybe she was about to get caught. And because we didn't see what was in that casket. It was a closed casket. I think maybe she was about to get caught, and she brought in all the powers of her friends. I've been saving y'all asses for the longest. She brought in all the power of her friends and her relationships and her connections to fake her own death. That's period. Period. So that she could fly away on some island and live the rest of her life in peace. Now, let me tell you something. If you kill my good sis, Viola Davis, that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. But I just don't think that it's true. Miss Olivia Pope came to help fake that death. That would be so sickening. We should be in the writer's room. That would be so sickening. That would be so sickening. You seeing Joker? I don't really have a huge interest to see Joker. I don't. Like, I want to see Wonder Woman 1984. Like, I want to see what they're going to come up with these. I want to see Birds of Prey, maybe. Like, I'm not interested in, I don't know. If someone can convince me, I probably would. If someone could convince me, I probably would. But like I said, I like How to Get Away with Murder is ending with this last season. Don't draw this shit on like it's SVU or some shit. Like, end this shit. End it. I'd catch it on Netflix or something. I don't think Latino Boy said, I don't think Birds of Prey is going to be the T. I did check out The Boys. I watched The Boys. I thought that was cool. Because I thought it was so cool how they did it, because like when you're first introduced to these characters, you think they're heroes. Like, you think you're supposed to be rooting for them. But then you realize how conniving and ugly they are. I heard a lot of people watching the politics. I haven't seen it yet. But I've seen it a lot of on social media. But I like, The Boys. I love how they created that, because they're actually the villains. Now, you said you don't think the Birds of Prey is going to be that good. I don't. I understand your apprehension because of Suicide Squad, but I'm hoping that they took how we dragged the shit out of it. I'm hoping that they took that and applied it to Birds of Prey, because I want to see Black Canary drag you girls. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I want to see Black Canary drag you girls. The voice is a shit. I love that. Hey, what's up? As she should, Latino, as she should. I'm missing a P in my title. I said impeachment. You hate to see it. Succession is on my must-watch list every Sunday. Y'all are giving me some shows to watch. Let's see. Okay, real quick before I wanted to talk about this Amber Geiger case. I think in the beginning, like when I was starting YouTube, I was like, oh, every story, every disturbing. No, I still had some discretion, but I definitely did it a lot more back then than I do now. But some of these disturbing ass, like mentally disturbing stories, I purposely keep them out because I'm like, I'm not trying to bombard, myself or y'all with that toxic, dark information all the time, But if it's super necessary, then I'll do it. But I haven't really been talking about the Amber Geiger case, but now that I think they had made their closing arguments, and so we're waiting on the jury and stuff to give a ruling. Um, but what happened was the judge had apparently said that the jury can use the Castle Doctrine when examining this Amber Geiger case. Now, what the Castle Doctrine is basically like stand your ground doctrine. This comes from Shannon R. Watts on Twitter. Stand your ground laws allow residents to use force, including deadly force, if they reasonably believe they're at risk of death or bodily harm. The law specifies that people have no duty to retreat from their homes or vehicles if they feel threatened. But the Urban Institute found that when white shooters kill black victims, homicides are 11 times more likely to be deemed justifiable. So even if that is the case, there is still a racial, obviously, a racial side to it that needs to be properly examined. But even further than that, stand your ground or the Castle Doctrine should apply to when a motherfucker's breaking into your fucking house. So the people, some people in the case, I forget who specifically, were arguing that, well, if that's the case, the Castle Doctrine should have applied to the victim, not Amber Geiger, but it's just they're stretching and reaching to protect. I don't know. It's just the prosecutor said, this is coming from Dallas News. The prosecutor said, Geiger missed 5 key clues when she was standing at Jean's door. The apartment sign, his red doormat, the blinking red light signaling her key wasn't recognized, the lack of whirring motor sound from the key, and the feeling of walking from concrete onto carpet. I mean, he said, my God, this is crazy. Fine, it was unreasonable. She should have known she was in the wrong apartment. I'm not gonna spend too much time on it. Thank you, Daryl. I just like what I don't know what else to say. It's just, and the most frustrating thing about these things are the fact that no matter how much we argue, no matter how much time this person gets, no matter how much we punish this person socially or in jail or whatever, she's still alive. Like, and the person that she exercised this brutality towards, like so many other cases, they won't be able to see the light of day. So that to me is the most annoying, unnerving, like disassociating, frustrating part of this thing. It's just no matter how we scream, the person is just dead. And that I just hate that shit. I hate it. Let me see, because someone typed a paragraph up here that I wanted to read. Hold on. I think, okay, Lit said, if you're going to impeach, it's an automatic L because you don't remove someone based on facts, but by force, and thus losing your credibility. So trying to impeach Trump is a weak move. I don't think so. I think that's how they're trying to spin it. If someone can get, if someone can get impeached or have impeachment being considered off of cheating on the goddamn wife in the Oval or whatever else he was doing, then we can impeach this motherfucker off of him colluding with other fucking foreign countries, like blocking aid from Ukraine, which is trying to fight Russia. Oh, thank you, Alicia. Is that how you pronounce it, Alicia? Thank you. I think that argument is going to be pushed by conservatives, mainly by conservatives. But this is why they do the polls. This is why they examine American public opinion, so that as the facts come out, they can gauge what people are thinking, and move accordingly. I think that's part of the reason why Nancy Pelosi waited so long, waited until she had something as concrete as this, as easily understandable as this, to move on it, because this is something that the public can now more easily understand. So it's not just by force, but when you have some of the things to back it up, I think it becomes a little easier to do that. And we have to be careful when we talk like that, in my opinion, because you have Trump kind of, on social media building off of arguments like that. So he recently quoted some pastor talking about the fact that if we impeach Trump now, it will like tear apart the fabric of the country, and it will cause he does say it will cause civil war. And the Democrats are just mad because they didn't win. It's just like, girl, if we get this man out the oven, it's not going to cause civil war. I don't know. I think if anything's going to cause civil war, it would be the actual opinions of the people, not the fact that the racist ass opinions of people, not the fact that this president got moved out of office. It's like a scare tactic kind of thing that tries to paralyze the people who are moving, who are taking action against the corruption, against the idiocy of this president. It's ridiculous. I agree. Everyone needs to exercise their votes and make him a two-term failure. Exactly. That's why I encourage people to be as active as they can, and including myself, of course. Oh, Kimmy, thank you. I appreciate it. And I love your content. That's so sweet. To be as active as they can in these elections, in these processes, because so much of it affects your life, But there are furious student. I don't know how you say Trump without cringing. I barely say his name. Let it know. Give him the title of the president. That's interesting, because a lot of times I'll say president if I'm speaking about a specific government process, government-based process. I'll say president just for us to have like a focal point. But in most cases, I just say Trump, or I just say Toupee. I think it's a specific politician that says the occupant of the White House. I forget who does it. Ayanna Pressley does it, which I think is ingenious. I think it's ingenious, because you know what she's talking about. She's saying, but she's not honoring him with the president. Hey, Adrian. Hey, Jay Barry. She's not honoring him with that title. Imagine calling Trump a president. We don't stand. But yeah, it's just so much coming out. Like that Australia thing kind of really, I was like, did this man really do that shit? Like, for real? Like, did he use this? He used the same. And the thing is, like, do you know how much could have been avoided if he, after this whole Robert Mueller investigation shit, and they spun that shit? Who spun that? Who was the person who gave the report and spun that? Was it Barr? I don't know. They spun that shit. You could have all these people confused. All he had to do was not collude again. Like, sit your ass down. But he does not know how to operate inside of any type of ethical law or any type of ethical philosophy. He does not know how to operate within those confines. And so he just runs the country, if that's what you want to call it, like how he runs a fucking mob. Like he runs a mob. And so I guess people like Nancy were able to see, like, girl, if he did that shit, there's so much more to uncover. So it's only a matter of time. And she latched on to this one because it was and took it to the damn house. I mean, when sis, I know I already said this, but when sis stepped up on that podium, I was like, oh my goodness. Because in my papers, furious student, where you go to school at? Because in my papers, I refer to him as the occupant, not president. Good thing no one in BSW program like him. Yeah, the occupant, the sitter in the chair in the Oval, in the specific. I call it the clown house instead of the White House. What else I say? The talking toupee, the cheating Cheeto. Do whatever you have to do. I mean, now we all know how he went bankrupt 4 times if he runs the country like how he ran his businesses. Yeah, yeah. And it's just so crazy the amount of hoops and backflips that people will do to try and convince themselves that this man is not what he literally presents himself as. Like this man got sued for discrimination, like for housing discrimination, and that's the least of what he's done and said. So I just like you literally hate to see it, the turd in the oval. Oh, I think my thumbnail says the Clown King or something like that. The Clown King. Impeach him. Impeach him. Let me see. I think there's one more thing. I think it's going to just be even more, it's going to be explosive from here on out. But now I like to see that like subpoenas are being, I think there was also a Republican who resigned, I forget from which institution, because he pled guilty to some insider trading type shit. It's just, I like to see that these subpoenas are coming out, the demands are being made by these Democrats who we've been asking to do something for such a long goddamn time. I'm ready for his ass to go. Now, my thing is, which a lot of people are focusing on as well, it's just like, oh, when we get Trump out of here, Mike Pence is going to be next in line. And I think that if the Democrats do a thorough enough investigation, or not even just Democrats, like whatever intelligence community, whatever, is allowed to or does a full investigation, they will see his circle. So just get his ass out, get all of their asses out there. See his circle, see who's been, because like someone like Rudy Giuliani, like get all of their asses out. You mean Commander Pence? Trump already threw Mike ass under the bus. I know. I forget what he said specifically, but did he say, did he say you need to listen to conversations that Pence had as well or something like that? I was like, damn, girl, you just gonna throw your good sense on the bus like that, girl? Oh, yeah. He said, check out his conversations. Giuliani's all over the place. If you watch any of their interviews or anytime they're on TV, you will see how they're just scrambling to latch on to anything. And it's just like, girl, do you not see how desperate your ass looks right now? How President Harden was confused who did not even act this unintelligent. It's just he's telling on himself. Giuliani tells on himself all the time. Hey, Deb. I don't know why the Republicans keep thinking Trump will be loyal to them in return. He don't care about y'all. Yeah. And I think that's the drive. That was one of the driving forces of his administration. It's just the fact that he's in front of all these people, these Republicans, and they're convinced that if they remain loyal to this crazy person, that he will remain loyal to them. And like y'all said, he's throwing Mike Pence under the bus. He's not. He don't care. He don't care about what y'all talking about. Oh my God! But the thing is, Trump is dumb as hell, but he understands who his base is. I will say that. So he knows that he can go and up there and say, hey, there are Martians on the moon. And people will be like, oh my God, there are Martians on the moon. Not even taking into account the fact that Martians come from goddamn Mars. You see what I'm saying? It's just, he can tell them anything. The sky is green. And then now we got to argue with motherfuckers who are just like, oh, why can't you meet us halfway across the aisle? Because the sky ain't green though, bitch. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna sit down here and argue with your ass or meet you halfway. Oh, I'm a Nazi and I hate niggas, but meet me halfway. No, girl, get your ass out of here. Get your ass out of here. But he understands his base completely. I see. Whenever they complain about doing stuff, you got to hit them with that. I have to live during the Trump administration. Y'all don't know struggle. Yeah. Oh my God. You know what? And I'll end on this because I need to sit my ass down. But I haven't seen a headline about Miss Betsy I call her Betsy Devils. I'm sure it's Betsy DeVos or something like that. But when you say, "Here comes Betsy Devil," that sounds so much better. But I promise you that the next headline, let me see what Sis been up to. You want to see what Sis been up to? I'm sure there's something. I'll say the next headline I see of that girl, Betsy, we're going to drag game. Wow. I mean, I just did a quick search. Democrats asked Betsy DeVos to cancel defrauded ITT Tech student loans. She did with extreme displeasure. She's just an evil woman. Just evil woman. Giving me Madame Delphine from American Horror Story Coven. Get her ass out of here. Betsy here. Brother said, "Here comes Betsy Devil." I hate it. I hate it. But yeah, I want to give y'all a quick. It wasn't a quick. It ended up being a whole hour long. I'm tired. I want to give y'all a quick live stream, an update about what's going on, especially since all these headlines came out so quickly. I need for you to go to patreon.com/AdrianExpression, sign up. The girls are getting their lives over there. That's just on period. What else do I want to say? October, I don't know what happened to this year. This year went by so quickly. October's coming up. October's tomorrow, right? Yeah. Which means I got to start thinking about Halloween costumes. I don't know what I'm going to do. I have no idea. It needs to be something simple. It needs to be something simple but cute. Birthday month. Oh, okay. On impeachment. But yeah, I love you guys so much. Thank you all for chilling with me. And I will see you all later this week. Your abs better be out. They will. Bye.